Can we have maybe one more question regarding the organization, the crew, where we would like to just highlight that everything is, like the entire Swissman is organized on a volunteering basis, and we're not professionals, we're not earning any money. We all have our real job next to Swissman.
Hello and welcome to XTRI World Tour Meet the Organisers. I'm your host Tanya Branzanik, and in this episode we talk to Sampo Lenzi and Kathrin Stadelman, the organisers of Swissman Xtreme Triathlon. Sampo and Kathrin, welcome to the XTRI World Tour Meet the Organisers. Could you please introduce yourselves and your roles within the Swissman organization?
Well, thank you very much for this opportunity to present the Swissman here. My name is Kathrin, and my role within the Swissman is mainly the entire correspondence with athletes, so I do reply to all their emails. Then I also have the entire registration process with me. And during the event, I'm part of the race managers crew, race directors. And also I organize the entire volunteers, make their plans, where they have to work when and what, and how they're gonna transfer between the locations we have.
So it looks like you do all the jobs. Sampo, what do you do actually?
Don't worry, there's a little bit of work left. So my name is Sampo. I'm also a member of the core team, and it's a great pleasure to be here to talk about Swissman. My role is basically marketing of Swissman. So I have a design background, and I designed pretty much everything that needed to be designed. And I'm also responsible for the film productions, photo, and a few other things.
Okay, so the Swissman was the third XTRI in the world and one of the founding members of the XTRI World Tour. What was your inspiration for creating this now iconic race?
So there is a very familiar story for me in the background of the creation of the Swissman. And this is that I spent some time in Norway during my studies. My parents visited me. My father, himself a triathlete, tried Norseman, participated in Norseman, because he thought, if I come to Norway, I should do something good, something interesting. So he participated in Norseman and was so fascinated that he returned, I think 2 years later, with his best friends. And they also were so fascinated by this unique event, this adventure with completely different spirit than other triathlons, that they came back and thought, that's exactly what we also need in Switzerland. And they started creating it. They made a plan how it should look like, and very soon then additional members of the organizing committee were involved, and it all took off very, very fast actually.
Well, your slogan is from the palm trees to the eternal ice. This sounds like an incredible journey. Perhaps you could talk us through the key elements of the course.
Yes, it is an incredible journey indeed. It's a very diverse journey, and we start in the southern part of Switzerland, in the Italian part of Switzerland. That's why we talk about the palm trees, and the climate down there it's very mild, very warm. And then the cycling course takes the athletes over the mountains, over 3 major mountain passes. We can have, let's say, 30 degrees at the T1, and then maybe 5 or even 0 degrees in the mountains. So we had already snow on the mountain passes, And then we have different regions, different cultures, different language cultures that we cross in Switzerland. And in the end, we finished Swissman in front of Eiger, Mönch and Jungfrau, the very iconic mountain faces where we are very close to the glaciers, so the eternal ice. That's in very short the incredible journey of Swissman.
But what would you say is the most exciting feature of Swissman race, packed full of exciting features, actually? Just give us one. What do you think is the one?
When talking about the course.
I mean the course or in general, what do you think is the most exciting feature that Swissmans present or can give to the participants?
Well, it's obviously the experience, and there's not one singular specific thing we can highlight. Of course, we have like the cobblestone road up to Gotthard, the historic one. We have waterfalls and many other things. But I think in altogether, it's really the experience that counts. That is really important for us. So. The very close togetherness between athlete supporters, the race crew, and the beautiful landscape.
So it's the journey.
It's the journey, but I think most people, especially foreign athletes, if they come from far away, they are overwhelmed by the Swiss mountains, of course. I would have to name really one thing from the course. It's probably the mountains, but you'd have to ask them, and maybe everybody says something different.
Well, many of our listeners are interested in what makes these races tick and how they are made safe. Can you explain how you work with Riga in Switzerland?
Yeah, so Riga, as you said, is our medical partner. It's the Swiss Air Rescue. They have built, or together with them, we have built a medical concept, not only for the air rescue, but for the entire medical safety or support along the course. So we have several ambulances along the course placed with medical crew. They also transfer during the day to reach all parts of the course as fast as possible. Then in addition, we have the helicopters, which we can use in case of really severe accidents. Never happened so far. And then we have four medical doctors, which are part of our crew. And they also transfer along the course to cover the entire course with minimum distance to arrive at an accident in case there is one.
Well, what do you think makes Swissmen stand out from the other XTRI races?
We have a very similar, or actually the same concept, obviously. So again, it must be the nature. It must be Swiss mountains.
So there are the XTRIs. Each of them is unique in itself because it represents its country. So the Swissman is unique because it represents Switzerland. And I think with our course, it represents Switzerland very well. And then also very different compared to the other XTRIs, Swissman does not have an official time measurement. So it's not per definition a race. It's
a journey.
We
can say it's a journey.
It's an adventure.
And
that's we are the only one with this feature. And it makes the athletes, or all the participants, not only the athletes, but also supporters, really focus on the course, on the other participants, which are in this case not competitors, but companions along the journey, and really creates a very friendly, or supports this very friendly atmosphere, which we aim for at the XTRIs.
Well, tell us about your finish line and why it's so special.
Well, the athletes finish on top of the mountain. Pretty much it's above 2,000 meters above sea level. And it's just in front of the very iconic and famous Eiger North Face, Mönch and Jungfrau Mountains. And it's just stunning. It's incredible up there. And it's also different every year and can be changing very quickly depending on weather. So it's just spectacular and stunning. And then of course the atmosphere is very special. We have a lot of crew members and supporters and other spectators up there. So we really truly celebrate each finisher and his supporter when they cross the finish line, the virtual finish line.
Yeah, and it's mandatory for the participants that athletes, and they're also told this during the briefing, that it's prohibited for participants to cross the finish line on their own. They have to cross it with their supporters or with their support crew, the entire family, grandmother, kids. Everybody who was part of this journey should be there when the athlete crosses the finish line. So it's really something to celebrate with everybody who was there.
Yeah.
And maybe
really something special for everybody.
Yep.
Yes, maybe one more feature. They already mentioned cowbells. So we welcome every athlete with the bells. So as soon as we see the athletes approaching, we ring the bells and give them the sign that we're ready for them. So they maybe a couple of 100 meters before the finish line, they can already hear that they're almost there.
Well, finally, the last question. Why should athletes choose Swissman and Ascona to try this incredible sport?
If the athletes arrive in Ascona, they feel like they're at the beach in Italy with the palm trees and the very clear, beautiful lake. At the same time, the little village Ascona has special flair with the small houses at the beach of the lake, gelaterias, and just the entire southern atmosphere. What is also happening at the same time as Swissman, actually always the same week, is the jazz festival in Ascona. So they have a lot of events going on. And when we enter the boat at 3:30, 4 in the morning, they have just finished their last concerts. So Ascona is really a very nice place also for the athletes to arrive a few days before the Swissman to take a swim in the lake and of course visit the beautiful Brissago Islands, which actually are a botanical garden. There are two small islands and the Swissman start line is in between the islands, and on the islands is a botanical garden which is really, really beautiful to visit.
Well, thank you guys.
Thank you.
That was easy.